A college field trip, a bus full of young lives, and a lone shooter from within. On November 13th, 2022, Christopher Darnell Jones Jr., a former University of Virginia football player, opened fire on a bus returning to campus, 3 teammates and wounding 2 others. A tragedy that shattered a community and haunted a nation. But how did a student athlete, team member, mentor, turn into a monster no one saw coming? What pushed him over the edge?
Lynch says Sunday evening, about 25 of her classmates and a professor were returning from a field trip in D.C. when a student who police identified as Christopher Darnell Jones Jr. pulled out a gun as they were arriving back on campus.
Chris got up and pushed Lavel, and then after he pushed him, he was like, you guys are always messing with me. Said something weird like that. But it was very bizarre because they didn't talk to him the whole trip.
Then Lynch describes the fear and fury.
And there just kept coming more and more gunshots. The shooter just kind of walked or skipped off the bus.
Jones wasn't just any student. He'd been twice named Student of the Year in high school, joined clubs, led community service, but shadows lurked beneath. He'd previously faced a weapon conviction left undisclosed to the university, and an investigation into hazing and bullying ended with limited cooperation. Yet how far did those whispers go? Could these ignored signs have derailed everything before it began? By November 2022, UVA's threat assessment team had flagged him. But as he sat with classmates on a field trip, no one stopped him from boarding that bus. What happens when the system fails? The trigger was pulled at 10:15 p.m. as the bus exited the garage. The first shots rang out. The victims fell where they sat. Devin Chandler asleep. Deshaun Perry struck through the head. Lavel Davis Jr. unalived in an instant. A survivor, Mike Hollins, exited for help, but turned back mid-evacuation to try to save a friend, and was shot. Another student, Marley Morgan, was also wounded. In that moment, was it chaos or calculated execution? Witnesses said Jones singled out certain teammates. Text sent before the act read, "I'm either going to hell or jail. I'm sorry." Then he opened fire. Afterwards, survivors scrambled. Classrooms, labs, dorms entered first lockdown in UVA history. And the gone. When danger steps in and out, how do you survive? Jones was on the run. Found the next day in Henrico County, arrested without incident.
Zoe Tran is remembering her friend, Deshaun Perry, one of the 3 students shot and killed Sunday night.
He truly is an amazing person.
She was one of thousands who gathered on the UVA campus last night to reflect on those lost. Also killed in that shooting were Lavel Davis and Devin Chandler. The 3 were all members of the UVA football team. The team's coach writing in part, "I cannot find the words to express the devastation and heartache that our team is feeling today." Police say the alleged shooter is Christopher Darnell Jones Jr., who was arrested yesterday afternoon, telling us it all happened on a chartered bus as students were returning from a field trip to see a play.
Initially charged with second-degree murder, but by September 2023, a special grand jury upgraded the case to aggravated murder, now punishable by life in prison. He pleaded guilty on November 20th, 2024 to 3 first-degree counts, 2 aggravated malicious wounding, and 5 firearm counts. Why a guilty plea and not a full trial? This plea spared a jury showdown, but even worse, temporarily withheld independent safety reports. The sentencing was moved to February 2025, delaying transparency further. Does justice wait on bureaucracy? The university was railing. Canceled games, public grief, solidarity. A $9 million settlement was paid to the victims' families. But behind it, questions remained. Why weren't red flags heeded? Why did this happen to players, teammates, friends? UVA's leadership commissioned an external review. Families awaited. They want answers. Can healing ever begin when the lessons aren't learned?
He was real paranoid when I talked to him about something. He wouldn't tell me everything.
What his dad says the younger Jones did tell him.
He said some people was picking on him or whatever. He didn't know how to handle it. I just told him, no, just go to school. Don't pay him no mind. Do what you got to do. Come on, you only had one more year.
Christopher Darnell Jones Jr. wasn't just another shooter. He was one of their own, a teammate, until he turned on his teammates. This tragedy forces us to ask, how do we spot the threat before the shot is fired? What toll does ignoring paranoia, isolation, and warning signs cost? The bus ride on November 13th, 2022, brought grief home that night to friends, family, and parents. We can never change that, but maybe by remembering, we can prevent the next tragedy. Leave your thoughts below. Let's discuss how we safeguard against the unseen danger before it's too late. Rest in peace to all the victims. If you like this video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay safe.